Excuse me. Smackdown. How you did such a way better job tonight into booking into WrestleMania than what I could say about Monday Night Raw last night. Okay? What was it? Indianapolis, Indiana tonight. And first off, it's going to be a lot to say about this show, especially with Kofi. The main thing about this show is about Kofi Kingston. And you heard a lot of Kofi, and we're going to get into a lot of this Gauntlet match tonight from what I liked and what I did not like. And I know there was a lot of problems into this. I know some people don't like the booking of the Gauntlet match and what happened. Some people said this was good. Honestly, this whole story of Kofi just doing, scratching, clawing any way he can to get his shot at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship is probably one of the biggest things on the show, if you ask me. I've said it before. I wouldn't mind if he even main event the show, even though I know that's not going to happen. But SmackDown, I will say, did a way better job than Monday Night Raw last night. Just in general, it was just really great, okay? I can't really, I know there's some bad parts here, which, I will say that, but it's better than how they killed the crowd last night in Chicago, and the rest of the show just had so many problems and just a lot of bad things that you forget WrestleMania is in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And so what I keep hearing now is everyone's saying what's supposed to be an 8-hour show and have 18, 19 matches. Like I said yesterday, I'm going to need a lot of coffee if that's really true. And even I don't think that show needs to be this long, okay? Like, WrestleMania is long enough, but y'all talking about 8 hours now. I'm like, shit, that's longer than Wrestle Kingdom, okay? That's really long. And just, I'm sure everybody was pissed off, well, we all know it kind of killed the crowd. Just say that real quick. The whole Kurt Angle and Baron Corbin thing, which just even pissed off, and I will say this before I move on to the review, that thing pissed off so many people last night, which I still think it most likely could be a swerve how the way they're doing it now. But the fact that you pissed off Jim Ross, that he had to say something on Twitter, I would say, and like that tells you something. And I saw people like Gail Kim respond, and I'm sure like other wrestlers too. I think Matt Riddle said something on Twitter, but this is how it's made the wrestling community very, very pissed off, okay, about what happened last night. And it just murdered the rest of the show that the crowd was dead. But with SmackDown being here, and actually they were actually booking and furthering their stories in the WrestleMania, when it comes up, because Raw didn't really push anything forward in the Mania, but maybe 1 or 2 things, and it just feels like they're on square one. But with only 2 to 3 weeks left in the show, I've said this before, we gotta start throwing matches like it's on the fly, okay? But we kicked off the show with The Miz as he came out to address Shane McMahon. It talked about how Shane betrayed him at Fastlane, and he talked about what they had a video package of what Shane said last week about The Miz. And as Miz looked on, he said he hasn't been laser focused. He's never been this laser focused for over 10 years now on his way to Mania, which he's always wanted that. But he said at what cost, though, aside from his wife and his daughter, that he has sacrificed every relationship, everything, shortcut, whatever place, just to get to WrestleMania. And he said he has to prove to one man, and only one person could be proud of him. So, at WrestleMania was going to be his dad. And he says, as cheesy as it sounds, all he ever wanted to do was, his dad to be able to just, stand in the ring and say that he was proud of him. And Shane gave him that. But Miz said, people have warned people about Shane McMahon. That he's a snake. Don't trust him. You don't want to be around Shane McMahon. You don't know the real Shane McMahon, because everyone usually likes Shane McMahon from what people tell him behind the scenes and stuff. But when they first became a tag team, he didn't want to listen to anybody. But then next Shane kicked the crap out of him in front of his 68-year-old dad, as he said. And pretty much he put his hands on his dad then, as his dad was just begging, calling for help for his son on the ground, as Shane kicked the crap out of him. He called Shane a disgusting human being, and that, he was rotten to the core, just like his dad. And, Miz said, he wasn't born the best in the world. he was not born the best in the world, but he was born the worst. And he pretty much said that Vince and Shane, you might own the company, but you don't own him, and you don't own Kofi either. And we're gonna hear a lot of Kofi references throughout the night before we even get into the Gauntlet match, because there was a lot of Kofi mentions that I guess the entire locker room is behind Kofi Kingston and all of this. But as we kind of move on through that, and everything, Miz pretty much say he wasn't born rich. He was from Cleveland, and he was destined to flip burgers in his dad's restaurant, but he has done everything what he could. People that said he could not do it to make it into WWE, and he picked himself up. He became the must-see person in WWE, champion in history, and he went from the real world to even get to where he is right now. And he wasn't given love by his dad. He had to earn it, and he wasn't given respect in WWE. He had to earn it, and now he's a success story. And after 13 years, he says he's deserved it as the fans chanting, "You deserve it." Then he pretty much told Shane, that he has earned something, and he's earned an ass whipping from the Miz at WrestleMania. I will say this about this promo. First off, you already know my thoughts on the whole Shane and Shane and Miz thing. I didn't really want to see this match in WrestleMania in general. I thought the whole story was just odd to me. I still think they have it backwards in a way, with Shane being the heel and Miz being the face. Listen, Miz cut a really good promo out here, okay? I'm not discrediting that, and it was actually a really good, fiery, bayface promo and everything, but it's just kind of I guess Miz now, he's, he had to scratch and claw his way to get where he is right now and stuff, which it did work, and it did win the crowd over. I will say that. But, at least I will say he won it over, but, just something about it that, okay, he's going to be the face in this, right? Which, we've seen Miz as a heel throughout most of the time, which he's better as a heel in general. We all know that. It's just, I've said it before, face Miz was never good. I've seen it before, okay? And it sucked. Now, like I said, this promo was great, and at least it is leading more into the match at Mania, because at first, I said, why would we take the Miz's side and all of this, okay? Why would we? Just in general. And it just didn't make a lot of sense. I'm like, all right, I could see a Miz turn on Shane, but we're doing this the other way around. And, he talked about work ethic and everything. Well, one thing he said about talent, that, you say he works hard and, he has to make talent work hard. But I will say this thing. Do I really want to see this match at Mania? Not really. But we all know they need Shane McMahon for WrestleMania. They always need Shane McMahon for WrestleMania. They needed Shane McMahon on WrestleMania ever since he came back. And he's almost on a match. He's going to be on a match at WrestleMania every year. And, it's like people say Shane's not even a wrestler. And, my neighbor and other people have said it before, he's taken a spot away from a guy that could be on the show. That's what people said before. He's just taking a spot, okay? And I think people have always had a problem with that. Miz, I don't really even think Miz is that great of a wrestler in general. The guy can cut one hell of a promo, and he's great as a heel, but in the ring, not so much. If you ask me, I've kind of said that for a while now. Do I really want to see this match? No, but at least they're doing well to push this whole story into going in there with the promos, because I'm like, okay, how is this gonna work with both of these guys? But at least, like I said, they're pushing into something good. So we're gonna move on from that. Sasha and Bayley came out as they were getting ready to face the Iconics. The Iconics came out, and they welcomed them to Smackdown, and they look small and afraid that they've been ducking them. And, you guys went back to NXT before coming to Smackdown, and you wanted to make yourselves feel very important, but they said, we're going to take those titles, and you got ran off by Nia Jax and Tamina, and, when we take those belts, it's going to be iconic. First off, this match was kind of good in the beginning. I will say that I did see some botches, don't get me wrong, kind of going to end, because I thought it was kind of botched at first. One thing, of course, we get the Grandpa Simpson, Lacey Evans thing, which, how long are we going to keep doing this, okay? Like, seriously, I don't understand the point of this anymore. Is this girl ever going to wrestle now? Listen, we saw her at the Rumble and she wrestled, but at this point in the game, it's more and more where, Oh, it's Lacey Evans. Who gives a flying fuck? That's all. Who really cares? Like, this is just do her loop. It's like a loop. It just keeps going around and around and around, and it just doesn't stop. And even though like Sasha and paid attention, but as it got to the end, Sasha, I think, fixated on Peyton Royce, and I guess about to get into the bank statement. Was the weird thing on the apron. I think she did that kick, I believe, or like a roll up, and I guess Billy was supposed to try to get back in. Well, Bayley tried to make the save, but Billy kicked her. Peyton had rolled up Sasha, and pretty much Billy Kay gave her an assist for the pin. And first off, why are the champions losing on TV right now to the Iconics? That did not make a lot of sense to me. This match wasn't all that in general. It was okay, I will say that, in the beginning parts, and just kind of some botches. What you see from, you just see botches more and more through this. But should the champions really be getting pinned? Which is going to be, they're going to get in this match WrestleMania, okay? We're going to probably add another team, because we got Beth Phoenix, Natalya, and Nia Jackson, Tamina in this. The Iconics are going to get added to this match, pinning the champions. I don't really think the champions need to be losing on TV, because it just makes them look weak, okay? And it's just like, really, on their first try, the Iconics beat Sasha and Bayley, and they're on SmackDown and they get beat. A lot of that makes no sense, okay? It just doesn't that. I don't understand why, but I guess at the expense of the champions losing clean, I should say also. Well, not clean, but dirty, but still. The expense of them losing right now just doesn't make a lot of sense. And like I said, there was just a lot of botches in this match too. I'm surprised that the Iconics even did this match right now. Next thing you know, Caleb Braxton interviewed Rey Mysterio, as he said he was going to face Samoa Joe for the United States Championship at WrestleMania, and next thing you know, he brought out his son Dominic, who is way taller than him at this point. If you do not remember his son Dominic, let's go a little trip back to 2005 when it was him and Eddie Guerrero fighting for the custody of Dominic, and the whole "I'm your poppy" thing. And it's a long story explained back then on SmackDown when they did that, and they had that ladder match on, was it SummerSlam, for custody of Dominic. And the biggest thing you can mostly remember from that match is when Eddie had just like when Vicky came out during the match, I guess, to push him off the ladder, and Eddie was like, "Where the fuck was Vicky? Where the fuck was Vicky?" Like, he was pissed during the entire match because she missed the entire spot, and he was pissed off. And that was like 2005. Okay, now some people some people are probably gonna feel old that you haven't really seen Dominic on TV in this long, because honestly, the last time I actually saw Dominic on TV, not WWE, because he had showed up in that, and he was just like, he was a little kid at the time. And I remember showing back up on 09, or was it 2010 on SmackDown, when they had him versus CM Punk at the time. And the last time I could really say Dominic was on a wrestling program, Rey Mysterio was Lucha Underground, if you go back a year or two ago. And I think it was Ray versus Johnny Mundo, and Ray had his family out there by ringside. Even Johnny Mundo said, "Damn, Dominic, you got big. Like, the kid's a giant now. He's bigger than Ray in general, okay? Like, he just towers over him." Because last time I heard, he was training to be a wrestler, I believe. So I think Ray was training him. So that's the thing from there. But he said he was going to be front row at WrestleMania to see his dad beat Samoa Joe, because he called Samoa Joe a bully and everything, and he's going to take him down Wrestlemania. Now, I will say this. I thought it was going to be a fatal four-way going into Mania between, well, pretty much all four of Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio, Andrade Cien Almas, and R-Truth. Which now, where does Almas and Truth go from here? Because if we're really doing a one-on-one match, because Mysterio got the pin on Samoa Joe last week, I don't really kind of know where we're going with this now. Hell, I know people are really saying it was going to be Almas and Ray at WrestleMania, but I don't even think that's happening anymore given this information. And maybe they will be added. Maybe Truth and Almas will be added to the match to make it another fatal four-way. But to be honest, it's not like I don't want to see Ray versus Almas, but they've done it so many times on SmackDown that I was wondering when this feud was going to end. I'm not discrediting the matches at all. The matches have been fantastic. They were great. But I sure they wanted to see the Mania, but I was just kind of surprised it was going to be a one-on-one match, and I think they may be sticking into it. Because if they're bringing in Ray's son, Dominic now into this, which I feel like they're going to have Joe probably attack his son and everything. That may be the thing from that to build up more into this angle and stuff. But I'm just assuming they even had on the graphics tonight, it's going to be a one-on-one with Rey Mysterio and Samoa Joe. So I guess they're going to be sticking with it. And if we're bringing his son on the ride now, let's see where we go from this, I guess. Like I said, I don't know where this leaves Almas and Truth. I thought they were also going to get involved in this, but Rey did get the win on him, Joe, last week. So I guess it's going to be Mysterio and Samoa Joe, and it's going to be some shenanigans with his son involved in this whole thing. But like I said, good segment. Like I said, if you do not know who he is, folks, do your research, man. Just go back to Smackdown, go back to 2005, and you'll know why. Shit. Dominic. Okay, we're not going to fix that then. Something fell, but I'm not going to go fix that. But like I said, if you know Dominic, you'll know what I'm talking about. And just remember the angle. So the kid got big. Got to give him that. Next you know, Kevin Owens was out for his new show. So I guess he's not going back for the WWE Championship. He had like a suit tie on, as this is the new and improved Kevin Owens show with some new graphics, and he's got a tie, folks, all right? And he talked about the Gauntlet match and at Kofi Kingston, and, Kofi Mania is alive and well, so hey, there's another Kofi reference tonight, and he said he's going to be watching that match very closely, but he brought his next guest out of, I guess some say, the hottest feud in WWE, which I feel is overbooked now at this point, not that hot anymore, but Becky and Charlotte, Becky got a big reaction out there. Charlotte, I know you wore this hat, man. You lost Single Bernables, man. She's probably part of the group, I'm telling you. She had a Los Single Bernables hat on. Tranquilo. Just go look it up. But, it's like saying that. But, pretty much, as the Becky chance came, Kevin Owens pretty much says, that friendships can go wrong. And, he talked about KO Mania. I guess it was like 3 or 4. And that, no one can get on your skin like your former best friend. And, both of them are just sitting there silent. Owens, pretty much had some cards he was going to read to them. And, some stuff Ronda kept talking about both of them. And, her husband getting involved. And that Charlotte had said that Becky's 15 minutes of fame are up. And that Becky talked about named Charlotte Shoehorn. And Owens, pretty much saying, he said, we're tired of listening to all the talk, which I think they've said all they could to each other. Now that I think about it, we're sitting in all this talk. You guys should just fight. Just fight, okay? Fight now. Fight. Just do it. You gotta beat the crap out of each other. Even Charlotte says, I would beat the holy hell out of Becky. Owens pretty much then left the ring, and before Becky even said anything, both women pretty much brawled all around the place, throwing each other over the table and everything. You got security guards, the Guardians of the Independent scene there coming and breaking them up as Charlotte and Becky start knocking them around and stuff. And they're just beating each other up. I should say Becky was still limping coming out, but I guess there wasn't really no thing into that. But, I will say this. Some people should say they ought to be keeping these two apart. Well, pretty much they're keeping them away from Ronda, because Ronda's not really going to show up on SmackDown or anything. And I guess I ought to keep it apart, because he sort of pointed out to me that this whole thing is almost like a separate story, because Charlotte and Becky are on SmackDown right now. Even though they're fighting for a Raw Championship, they're just, battling each other, as Ronda is just, being super heel on Monday Night Raw, trying to beat the crap out of everybody and say wrestling is fake and whatnot, and everything, just be a murderer right now, pretty much. But listen, even Owens was right, though. These two have said everything they could about each other, and just beat the crap out of each other, fight. Should I believe they hold these two back until Mania? Yeah, but we've seen these two brawl with each other several times. We've seen Becky and Charlotte brawl numerous times, that this was just another thing to do. Like I said, the whole story is just this whole feud and story just been so overbooked. It just makes no sense to me at this point. Because, I said it last night. I guess Ronda Rousey's husband is now involved. So what, is everybody going to get a manager at Mania now? Because that's what I could see coming. He's going to keep coming out with her for the next few weeks until WrestleMania, and even like be the manager or something. And maybe Charlotte will, I don't know. I think I said this last night. She'll go get Rick to be on her side, and Becky will get somebody to be on her side. I don't know who, but what is it going to be? Managers in every corner now if we're going to go with this match? I don't know, man. Like I've said before, it's overbooked to me at this point. I look more forward to the Kofi and Bryan match more than I look forward to this triple threat at Mania, if it is quote-unquote the main event. But the way they've just done this feud, it's just, I've said before, it's all over the place, okay? It's all over the place, and I'm surprised they didn't even have these two fight each other on the go-home show. I thought they would have even saved it for that. Like, hey, we're 2 weeks away. Let's just kick the crap out of each other already. We've done all the talking. And I thought Owens was funny, though. I will say that. Owens was actually great. All right, but he was, I actually thought it was hilarious he was out there. He was kind of cracking me up a little. He was pretty funny. But just looking at these two, I'm sure they're going to brawl with each other for the next few weeks, or we're getting out a promo, but you'd think it'd be a brawl before, like, the go-home show for Mania. But nah, let's keep kicking the crap out of each other, folks. We're just going to keep beating the shit out of each other until then. That's the plan. We're just going to keep beating the crap out of each other until then. But like I said before, the whole thing is just, it's all over the place. They hold him back, but not. Next, Daniel Bryan came out with Eric Rowan, as he talked about injustice and called Kofi Kingston, being a gauntlet match injustice, that Kofi does not deserve anything. He is a B-plus player, and, he knows what it's like to be held down and everything. But that's what happened to Kofi. Kofi, he was chosen to replace Mustafa Ali, who was, handpicked from the tag division, an opportunity not deserved when Mustafa Ali was injured. And, he's been fighting valiantly. He fought valiantly in the Gauntlet match in the Elimination Chamber from before, but he has lost both times, and he's not earned anything. He's just a B-plus player that belongs with the Booty-O's and Pancakes and like all the other crap that nobody needs to buy, and that the B-plus might be good enough to people, but it's not good enough for him. And it doesn't change the fact that Kofi, he has lost all the opportunity given to him. But next thing you know, the New Day comes out and people are chanting Kofi as the music goes along. So another great promo by Daniel Bryan talking about Kofi to get under the crowd's skin. But as this gauntlet match began, and this was the entire hour of the show, there's a lot to say this. Because as Kofi, his first opponent was Sheamus, because the bar was out first, which was a good match, I will say that. Kofi was able to get the win for the Trouble in Paradise and everything. Next was Cesaro. He pretty much took Cesaro out next after he dodged the neutralizer and put in an SOS. And as the match came on, as the New Day were watching in the back from the monitor, more and more of the Smackdown locker room came in and joined the support on Kofi. The Usos, as they stood there eating pancakes, the Hardys, Mustafa Ali, Nikki Cross, who I forgot was even still part of any show at this point, and she must be hiding somewhere in the depths of SmackDown Raw locker room somewhere that we actually saw her on TV in the back, supporting Kofi. And multiple other wrestlers from the SmackDown locker room were in support of Kofi Kingston, cheering him on in the back. Going, but as Cesaro was pretty much after that SOS, Eric Rowan was then, as Eric started throwing him through the pretty much throwing him all over the place then. But pretty much as he's off the floor, Rowan had grabbed the chair and hit Kofi, which had a disqualification. But he bear hugged him and threw him into the ring post, and even put him through a table, which Kofi is just battered and getting beaten like a dog out there. And next Samoa Joe's music hit, so it was gonna be trouble for Kofi then. But this is where I know people, and I saw this on Twitter, people having problems with this match here then, because with the crowd still behind Kofi, how did you think they were going to get rid of Samoa Joe and Randy Orton into this? I'm going to say one thing about the AJ Styles promo real quick before I go into Samoa Joe, because he did cut a promo on Orton, though. He's going to beat him. He's going to, Randy's got to field advantage, but at WrestleMania he's going to tear the house down. And excuse me. Excuse me. But like I said, yeah, he's talking about Orton, so I just want to kind of get past that promo because I kind of forgot to mention it. But, with Samoa Joe being next, this is where people kind of, I could see why they were getting mad right now about this Gauntlet match. It's just unbelievable at this point that, Kofi's got to fight the odds, and Samoa Joe is kicking the crap out of him, and Kofi's doing what he can to fight back at Samoa Joe, punches and kicks, but Joe's just splashing with Insecurity into the, at the rope and hitting with a big lariat, just flying all over the place. He even tried to put him in a sleeper, but Kofi hit him with a jawbreaker. But once again, he tried to get him in the corner. Joe hits him with a not a Uranagi then. But Uranagi and Kofi, somehow still got Joe to the ground after that. And even when he had him on the turnbuckle, Joe, which a move you don't see really anymore because I don't think WWE lets him use it, was going to go for a muscle buster. But Kofi slipped out and pretty much rolled up Joe for the win. Now, this is where people have a lot of problems with this. Because, first off, should the champion, this goes back to Sasha and Bayley, should the champion be really taking any type of losses clean before WrestleMania in a few weeks? Not really, because this is 2 weeks in a row now Samoa Joe has taken a clean loss. Last week, Rey Mysterio. This week, Kofi Kingston, okay? And maybe they could have done something better for, Joe to get eliminated and everything without, being pinned, because the guy's the U.S. champion, but you're just kind of making the champions look bad by having them pinned clean, especially by a roll-up. I didn't really expect Joe to lose clean. I thought Joe was going to just beat the crap out of him, that it was going to be, I don't know, maybe ref stoppage or something like that to actually take him out of the match, and, Kofi will win by DQ, kind of like what they did with Rowan, but I did not expect the U.S. champion to be pinned clean here, okay? I did not expect that. So I could see why people were, I saw that people were pissed and everything. And it's Kofi doing everything he can. Just the man's damn near dead on the ground, okay? He's just dead. And the fans, they're right behind him and everything. And I guess Orton's going to be like he's the final guy to face, man. He's the big boss now. He's got to take out and stuff. And the match, pretty much is coming back, and Orton pretty much says, this wasn't their guy. This isn't their guy. That, it's not. He's not. And he said, it's stupid. If you know that stupid line, go back to 2009 and you'll see what I'm talking about with the Orton calling Kofi stupid, all right? And, Orton's just getting at him, and Kofi, trying to dodge and, throwing Orton to the steps, doing what he can to fight back. Or Orton's just stomping Kofi out there and just putting him in a chin lock here in the back. But Kofi, still trying to do what he can. Fight back. Orton's just knocking him out of the, knocking him to the ground. He tried to go for RKO. Kofi dodged it, hit him with Trouble in Paradise, stunned Orton. But Orton was pretty much got outside of the ring before Kofi could get any type of pin. Orton just punching Kofi in, on the top rope and, hit him with a superplex then. But, Kofi got there and hit with a splash, and, he's pretty much doing everything he can at this point. And, Orton hit him with a DDT, and I guess he was going to go for that RKO, but once again, what happens, just like Samoa Joe, he rolls up Randy Orton and pins him right there, okay? Pins him right there, and that's another clean win for Kofi Kingston, which, Orton's in a big match with, AJ Styles at WrestleMania, and the guy's taking an L clean. And to be honest, and I said this last week too, I expected a lot of interference and shenanigans and stuff for people that help Kofi Kingston. I thought AJ Styles was going to get involved in here to screw with Randy Orton one way or another. I didn't think this was going to be a clean pin, okay? That's something I didn't expect. I didn't think it was going to be a clean pin on Orton by Kofi Kingston. I thought AJ was coming. Even with some other stuff throughout a lot of these matches, I even expected maybe somebody to come out there in a Samoa Joe thing. Because, like I said, maybe Truth could have came out because he was on watching the monitor. There was a lot of guys watching the monitor that night. And Kofi, I guess, was just going through these guys all he could to get clean except for Rowan, which I don't know why they're protecting Rowan. He should have been protecting the champions in that. But Kofi finally just getting that win. He got that win. The New Day came out to celebrate. But I knew there was going to be something going on because we had 5, 6, 7 minutes left in the show. But as Kofi even tried to celebrate, Vince McMahon comes out, which I was just expecting that to happen. He congratulated Kofi, you're going to WrestleMania. But all you got to do is beat one more guy, okay? You got to be one more opponent. And who is that going to be? And he told Biggie and Woods, you must leave now or Kofi will forfeit his opportunity. Next, the last person that came out was Daniel Bryan. And I somewhat expected this in a way because I'm like, oh, could it be a guy returning or who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? I heard people actually think it was going to be Sami Zayn, which would have been a surprise. But no, not Sami Zayn, okay? Not him. But Bryan comes in, just starts kicking him. The fans are behind Kofi, and Bryan just taking out Kofi just throughout the match, and even tried to get him into the bell lock and stuff. But Kofi was able to get out of there, and he even hit a SOS, even though it looked like a DDT more than an SOS. But he still got a 2 fall in. Bryan pretty much started hitting him with running drop kicks in, but Kofi tried to roll him up, did not work. He tried to do a splash, but Bryan got out of there, and he just starts stomping on Kofi's head, and Bryan pretty much hit the flying knee for the win. Pretty much, once again, they screwed over Kofi Kingston again. So Kofi's WrestleMania dreams are just now in shambles, as it looks like. But now, just looking at this, I know people question a lot of this whole gauntlet, because now some people say, what was the point of this gauntlet now if Bryan was going to get the win here? Because you just kind of made everyone else look bad. Like, you got the U.S. champ looking bad, and what was the point of even having this, just to have Daniel come out and be the final one, the actual final one to take down Kofi Kingston, okay? Because right now it's like, where does Kofi go from here? Where they keep screwing with him? Now, if others would think, now I would say that this is just putting more heat on Daniel Bryan being the last guy and making it more and more for people to chant for Kofi and get behind Kofi's back to, get that win in WrestleMania to make it feel bigger. But but now, what's it going to be next week? How is Kofi Kingston going to get himself in WrestleMania now? Because I expected Vince to come out when it was some time left in the show, okay? Someone knew, like, well, we got 5-6 minutes left, so I expect him to come out. Now, did I expect Bryan to come out at the end? Not really. I thought it was going to be some other guy that hasn't really been seen, or maybe a debut, or just someone I wouldn't have expected. I would have expected Almas to come out, to be honest. If they were going to get another heel, you would have expected him, but no. Just no. And how will Kofi get into this now? How's he going to get his shot at WrestleMania against Daniel Bryan for the championship? That's now more and more questions at this, because as the show went off the air, Biggie and Woods pretty much went to check on Kofi as the crowd just booed Bryan in at the end, calling, Kofi a B+ player, okay? So why does Vince keep screwing with him? I got no idea. Just trying to keep him down as much as he can, all right? That's all what's really going on from here. And because what are they gonna do with Bryan? And now that I think about it, who is Kofi got to do? What's Kofi got to do another crazy match next week again in the Mania? Who's he got to face next? The same guys he just beat tonight? Because we can't. Who else we got to throw at Kofi? You threw Bryan at him, and like I said, it's just gonna make fans. It puts sympathy on Kofi. Just to put more, like I said, get sympathy on him for people to want him more and more in the match at WrestleMania when you look at it, okay? That's the thing right there. So I'm seeing just a lot of positives and negatives from this stuff, because I thought it would have been over right there. But no, the Vince, the troll artist that he is, we got to keep holding this guy back one way or another. And that's what they're doing. They're just finding several ways just to keep Kofi out of, WrestleMania as possible. Because, alright, he had to fight the champion at the end. What's going to happen next week? How's he going to get the opportunity? I don't even know how he'll get a title shot now at this point, or what they have planned in the next 2 weeks for him, okay? Because, Bryan, I just didn't expect him to be at the end, and somewhat kind of predictable the way that you think about that, too. So it's just a lot to think from this Gauntlet match. Like I said, we just had this Gauntlet match damn near over a month ago when we were going into Elimination Chamber. But Brian, like I said, Kofi just trying to do what he can, survive, just to get to that final thing, to get to Mania, as he had to go through 5 guys and lost to the 6th one at the end. Excuse me. So where do we go on? I don't know. Right now, like I said, he was in another Gauntlet match, but right now Vince screws Kofi again. That's how I would call it. Kofi Kingston gets screwed again. So how does Kofi get into this? I have no idea. But overall, SmackDown was a better show. Okay? SmackDown was a way better show than Monday Night Raw last night. Raw was shit. SmackDown, way better show and built up more in the Mania. So, just, the Gauntlet match itself, its positives and negatives, we already just went through that. Mrs. Face promo was pretty good, I will say that. I'm not sure why we're really going to go with Ray versus Joe for the U.S. title, but I don't really have a problem with that in a way, because I guess the Sun will get involved. I don't think the champion should be taking L's tonight as in regards to that Gauntlet match, but we'll see what goes on from there. Because, like I said, the Kevin Owens segment I actually thought was pretty funny with Owens as the host. But I've seen Becky and Charlotte go against each other so many times. But, they didn't really say much. They just fought each other. We've seen it already. But I don't know. Like I said, the whole story is just all over the place at this point. Iconics beating Sasha and Bayley looked dumb to me. It just did. I don't know why. I already told you why. But it's dumb how they just kind of they make the champions look bad, but they will be added to that tag match at WrestleMania for those women's championships. Okay, we all know where that's gonna go, but like I said, overall SmackDown was just it's just a way better show. Okay, it really was. Yeah, it has its problems here and there, but after I saw it tonight, I even said to myself, I'd rather would have Kofi Kingston in the main event of WrestleMania against Daniel Bryan, just given how they've been doing this story and how it's been a way better than one than a triple threat, women's Raw title one. But they've got too much invested in that right now that I know Kofi and them won't probably be the main event anyways, but that's even official yet. But was there really any new matches announced as in regards to SmackDown tonight for WrestleMania? Well, pretty much the Joe and Ray one. That's all I can really say that was added. Like, we already know about the tag belts, which we're just adding more until they make it official. We already know Shane and The Miz, Kofi, if he will ever get that shot at WrestleMania for the title at Daniel Bryan. I don't know, because we just went through a whole hour of a Gauntlet match here, people, okay? But like I said, overall, better show. Just a better show in general than what I saw last night on Monday Night Raw. It's just, that's the thing. It's just better. If you don't believe me, just watch the show. You'll see what I'm talking about, okay, people? But that is my review of SmackDown. I'm out of here. Comment, subscribe. Tell me what you thought about SmackDown tonight, if it was better than Monday Night Raw, okay? Because I thought my city could have did better last night. I would say it was a lack of CM Punk chance. I even expected those to happen a lot also. But that's my review of Raw. Not my review of Raw there. I'm fucking up right there. But like I said, that's my review of SmackDown. Tell me what you thought about this show tonight. So like I said, comment, subscribe. Hey, follow me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890, and we got this review coming up right now. It's still got a lot going on, and the road to WrestleMania continues, even though they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I feel like when they're getting on the road to WrestleMania with several things right now, especially with Raw. But I am out of here. I will see you guys later. Peace out.